everyone, it's a brand new weekend. Welcome to Massey United Insurance's Line and Length. It's the cricket program where we look at the sport not only in the region but internationally as well. I'm Barry Wilkinson. Hello to all of our friends watching, especially on Digicel Sportsmax. Well, what a week we've had in West Indies cricket. Put on your seatbelts, it has been turbulent. And at the end of the plane ride, Phil Simmons is still on suspension with the West Indies team for his comments made in an interview and also at a press conference held at the UWI. It's been a very controversial week because some people are split as to what Simmons said and also as to the credibility, perhaps, of some of the things that he said. Perhaps they need investigating too. But nevertheless, we're going to focus on that in the first half of our program. The Phil Simmons interview. Just for those who might have missed it on YouTube or even didn't hear what Phil Simmons said, here is that interview of Massey United Insurance's Line and Length that we did last week, Friday, at the UWI.
Disappointed from about the process and the way it's been done. Disappointed about the when it comes to the ODI team and those two in particular, the outside interference and the outside influences about their selection is disappointing to know that we are not selecting the ODI team and not selecting the best ODI team that we can select in the Caribbean to go and play cricket outside. And I think from that point of view, it's disappointing. Disappointing to know that people from outside are influencing or interfering in selection from the selection of the ODI team.
When you say people from the outside, you want to elaborate on exactly who from the outside seems to be interfering in this selection? Because the chairman of the selectors, Clive Lloyd, was here yesterday.
Mr. Lloyd has put his case forward as to why they should be included. He's given all his reasons why they should be back in the squad. The captain, Jason Holder, gave all his reasons why they should be back in the squad and why he will happily welcome them back. And I also gave the reasons why they should be in the squad. But unfortunately, Jason doesn't have a vote, so the vote was 3-2 from the other selectors. So it's and with the voting, it comes. It's not as straightforward as it should be. It's not total professional cricketing reasons why they were left out. So it just disappoints me that is the state of the cricket, and that's the state of treating some of our players.
With them out, the one-day team, you're from what you're saying, is not balanced in the correct position or not as strengthened as it should be. How do you then feel about playing against Sri Lanka with the current team that you have been given?
Well, the thing about it, we've got to go there and play against Sri Lanka and play the best that we can and try to win the three-match series. It is a case where you always try and win whatever you go and play, and that's how I live. You try and win the series, and that's what we're going to go there to do.
In terms of overall, you're still pretty new into this job. First series against England, then against Australia. Drew one, lost the other. Are you enjoying your tenure so far? Has it been what Phil Simmons has expected?
Some things have. The players have been awesome. They've been brilliant in working and pushing themselves to try and get to the standards that I'm pushing them to get to. I think it's a case that after a while we're going to get to where I want them to be. So it's good. Some of the things outside of that have not been as much as I expected, but we'll get there at some point. But the players have been awesome.
Do you expect any backlash from your opinions about the one-day team? And have you been in contact with your president or other people in the board to let them know how you feel about the situation?
I've spoken to the chairman of selectors, the captain. We've spoken about it. It's just I haven't spoken to them. It's just my opinion on how things are. I've sent emails about my thoughts about the whole process, and it's just my feelings, and I don't like to keep feelings bottled up because it gets to you. And I think that it's something that is a serious thing for West Indies cricket, and we need to make sure that West Indies cricket is moving forward properly.
Now, Phil, in terms of the team now heading to Sri Lanka, only a couple of days left before the cap finishes off. How do you feel about that test series against the Sri Lankans coming up?
I think we have a good chance. I think we have a very good chance because of the fact that they are in transition just as we are. They will have the home advantage, and they've got a lot more players that have played Test cricket before, more than our young players. But I think we have a good chance, and what I've seen in the last 3 days here and the way how we've prepared and the way how we've worked hard in the last 3 days, I think we have a good chance.
All right. Well, look, when we come back, we have immediate reaction. We're going to go on the streets of Bridgetown, Barbados, to hear what the people have to say. And we also hear from a cricket journalist who's going to be heading to Sri Lanka for his thoughts on not only the Simmons interview, but the series as well. All this and more on Massey United Insurance's Line and Line.
Across the Caribbean, more people are placing their trust in Massey United Insurance for the protection of the things that are important to them, their homes, businesses, and their prized possessions. That's because Massey United Insurance offers excellent general insurance coverage to help you manage whatever life sends your way. Our cadre of well-reputed agencies and trained insurance professionals are always ready to provide you with sound advice and prompt service. Choose the security and sound strength that is Massey United Insurance.
We're back on the program. The Phil Simmons interview. What did you think of it? Did Phil Simmons go too far? Our own Andrew Seeley and Carlos Cox took to the streets of Bridgetown, Barbados to get the pulse of the people.
Your comment, sir?
My comment is that first boys to get rid of is Lloyd.
Why you say that?
Why you say that? He's caused early problems in the Western Cricket Board.
No, but tell me what you thought of what Simmons said.
Huh? Simmons, I thought that Simmons doing the right thing. As coach, he should have the best team.
Simmons know his position. I know what it is about. He should say, and I don't think he should say it because he know the position and he know what went on with the situation between Bravo, especially Bravo. So the people side already know they are not left them out, but it's still like it was a little discipline that hurt them.
Well, I believe that it was out already and we done missed them. They should be out still. I don't believe they should be. Their inclusion don't make any difference because they're no match winners where I'm concerned. I just see them trying to cream young players and different stuff like that. I believe that the selection that was made. The boys should make another comment differently. Have the team pick. Because other decisions was made before that was seemed unfavorable to other people like me, and they still did it, and they went ahead. So if they're out, they're out.
I think Phil Simmons was correct in bringing out what is happening behind the scenes in West Indies cricket, because we were experiencing a lot of problems all the time where the team is concerned. And we can see the division and the politics that is going on with the team. And I felt like Phil Simmons did great. And he's very down to earth in what he's saying. And he should never, ever be banned from going to Sri Lanka.
Yeah, I really and truly think that Simmons should have taken a different route other than just airing everything out to the public. You know, I have no problems with the discipline that was dished out to him, but I guess you have to be able to hear what the West Indies Cricket Board, whatever further action they're going to take on it. But I'm glad he was disciplined for it.
I think on the comment, he make a good comment. I feel like Bravo and Pollard should get a chance to play in the West Indies team. Without them, they still going to be at CS 1. That's my opinion. But I feel that the board, the West Indies board, is supposed to look into this matter and get this matter.
Quite frankly, Simmons, in relation to protocol, was wrong. He cannot be forgiven for not understanding that there's collective responsibility. So even if there was a disagreement within the selection panel, which is necessary and which will happen because they're all men of different views, that had to be left in the room and he had to come out once outside and to indicate that that was the position of the team, and whether or not he disagreed was irrelevant at that stage of the game.
I would like to see the day come that all the directors of the West Indies Cricket Board get sent home and the cricket play better. It's by time that they ain't doing about cricket right now and let the people play the cricket left out
nonsense they're doing. I agree with Simmons.
But I don't think they should include them in the team. They should. Simmons had all right to say, yeah, they should include them without any doing nothing. Right? So they got all right to include them in the team.
Simmons is really the coach, and he have already, taught those men a lot, and they are looking forward to do what the coach says. And like anyone else, you have to give the coach the best of the team. So what I do think is that there might be a little disagreement here and there, but I do think that Simmons was right to explain what he had to say.
Across the Caribbean, more people are placing their trust in Massey United Insurance for the protection of the things that are important to them, their homes, businesses, and their prized possessions. That's because Massey United Insurance offers excellent general insurance coverage to help you manage whatever life sends your way. Our cadre of well-reputed agencies and trained insurance professionals are always ready to provide you with sound advice and prompt service. Choose the security and sound strength that is Massey United Insurance.
So welcome back to Massey United Insurance's Line and Length then. With me is Craig Cozier. Craig is a freelance cricket journalist. He'll be heading down to Sri Lanka next week for the start of that three ODI and 2 T20 series. Craig, so good to join you. First of all, before we get into the series itself, because the series still has to play whether I am head coach or not, your thoughts on the Phil Simmons interview. Did you personally think he was too expansive in his interview?
I think so. I think looking back, Simmons will probably regret airing the dirty laundry in public. But as he said, a lot of these things were bottled up inside of him from so long. And I'm sure a lot of people around the Caribbean feel the same way as to, his views on selection and so on. The problem is, I think, where it comes in now, he's been suspended and there's an investigation into the issue. What I want to know is, are they going to investigate only his kind of outbursts and his thoughts, or are they going to investigate his claims as to outside interference? Because that is interesting to find out if, they're going to probe any deeper to find out what is he talking about, outside influence.
That's a very good point that I don't think many people have discussed. And it is one that I think is worth investigation. Do you think, though, that will have any bearing on what happens after they decide what will be Phil Simmons' future?
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously, he's come out and he's apologized, it appears. And obviously, he has regrets about that. And stuff like that probably needs to be discussed openly in a room with all the parties involved. So I think, in terms of airing it in the media, I don't think that's the right method that Simmons used. But it is an issue that is not going to go away. And it probably needed to be aired. Probably not in that forum. And do you think Bravo and Pollard should be playing? Think they should? Absolutely, yes. I mean, Bravo's record in one-day cricket is, over the last couple of years, he was in the ICC one-day team for 2014. Pollard maybe not as consistent as he would like, but they are our two of our better players in limited overs cricket, whether it be 2020s or one-day cricket. And also they're drawing cards, which we severely lack. We need to get the people back in the stadiums. And those are two that can do it. Now, Craig, you're headed down to Sri Lanka. You're going to see a West Indies team that is going to be up against some spin that the Sri Lankans will be throwing at them. Aldin Baptiste is the new head coach. What do you reckon will be his new strategy? Because he now has to shape and mold the team, which has been molded with Simmons for the last 10 days. What do you reckon will be his immediate strategy? Because he doesn't have much time. Well, I think the first thing he has to do is take everyone together and basically try to get everyone on board in playing for the team, for the people of the West Indies, and forget about all the issues that are going on outside with Simmons' suspension and so on. The team needs to recognize that it's not only them they're playing for, but we heard so many passionate supporters of the West Indies that really they want West Indies to do well, and the team needs to forget about who's there, the West Indies board or hiring them or whoever is hiring them, but they need to play for the people of the West Indies and play with pride and also represent themselves well in Sri Lanka. And I think, prior to Simmons' suspension, I did think that West Indies would have a good chance down there. And once the team can stick together, and I know Jason Hole is a very level-headed guy, along with Baptiste, they can bring that team together, and I'm sure that they can give a good account of themselves. And I do think the series will be very competitive. You talked about the spin of Sri Lanka. they've lost their last 2 home series. They lost 2-1 to Pakistan in June and July, and just in August, India beat them 2-1. So they're also on a pretty downward curve. They've lost Dilshan, Jayawardene, and Sangakkara have all retired from Test cricket. So their batting, to me, is their weak point. And I think our bowling needs to pressure them. And once we keep them to low scores, I think we'll do well.
A gentleman that you should know very well, Tony Cozier, wrote an article saying that Marlon Samuels needs to be more consistent. Your thoughts on him, because he's now the most senior batsman in the team, in a team that's rebuilding. Yeah,
I think our batting is where we've fallen down for the last probably 10 years. Our batting has been poor. Marlon Samuels obviously is a class act, and against spin, he will be a key man in Sri Lanka, no doubt. But I do think that there are others that need to step up. Dinesh Ramdin, he's lost the captaincy, but he is also one who made his debut 10 years ago in Sri Lanka. And over the last 2 years, his test record has dropped off a bit. But before that, under the captaincy of Darren Sammy, he scored 3 test centuries in 2012, 2013, and he was averaging 44. He needs to get back to that. Maybe with the captaincy burden off him and all the pressure off, maybe he can step up. Darren Bravo is another one. He started like a house on fire. He started 5 years ago in Sri Lanka, did well, 3 half centuries in the series in 2010 there. And his, for the talent he has, his record is not reflecting that. And they're the 3 key men, along with Craig Brathwaite, who...
I was just going to ask you about him.
He will just continue to score runs. He'll continue to bat how he is. He's a very focused character. He is Chandapal-esque in his focus and his concentration. So those 4 guys have to carry the batting, because, to be honest, guys like Shea Hope, Shane Dowrich, Rajendra Chandrika, who is lucky, in my view, to make the tour, they are new to cricket. They haven't made the amount of runs in first-class cricket, far less Test cricket. So those 4 guys I call need to lead the batting and need to lead us to totals of 350, 400 in order to be competitive. If they can't do that, we'll bowl up for 150 and we'll be struggling.
A word on Craig Brathwaite, Test vice-captain now, but went off the boil pretty much against Australia and even against England. Although he scored a century in the series, he was not as his consistent self. Did you think that he was playing perhaps a bit too much cricket and might have needed a little break from international cricket?
I don't think so. I think it might be the opposite. Whereas he's come back now and he's played club cricket for Wanderers, he's scored heaps of runs, and I think the more he plays cricket, the more he learn about his game, the more he will improve. He's still only 22. Yeah. I don't know about the vice captaincy. Burdening young guys with leadership is a bit tough. I know he led Barbados to the championship, but I don't know. It's a bit difficult for those young guys. Hopefully they'll rise to the occasion. Jason is 23. Hopefully they go to Sri Lanka. They band together, a nice group of guys. I mean, another guy I didn't talk about was Jermaine Blackwood. He is also an exciting young talent in the batting. So the batting has talent, but they need to realize it and stop making 25 and 30 looking good and then getting out.
And one word on the West Indies fast bowling, because we might have alluded to the spin that the West Indies had. Spin and fast bowling in the West Indies, your quick thoughts? Yeah,
I think Bishu has come back well. He really looked good in the home series here. Then he had a bit of a problem with his finger, so he was out a bit. But I think he will be a threat. India's leg spinner Mishra and Ashwin, the off spinner, pose big problems for Sri Lanka in the series there. Bishu will be a big role to play for the West Indies. And I do think that Jerome Taylor's been bowling beautifully, and Gabriel, with his pace, might shake up some of the batting. Sri Lanka's batting, apart from Angela Matthews and Chandimal, they're the 2 that really hold that side together. Other than that, they're not really tried and tested. So their batting, we can get into their batting as well. Matthews is key. Chandimal has been playing well, but he's also a counter-attacking kind of player. And then I must say you have to look out for a guy called Kushal Pereira.
Right.
He is the Sanath Jayasuriya lookalike. He made his Test debut against India, got a half century and similar style to Sanath, bottom-handed grip, hits the ball hard. So he's another one that we'll have to look out for. But their batting is very fragile. So I think 3 Test matches, if the weather stays fair, there'll be 3 results. And I think
2 tests.
2 tests, sorry. There will be results in those 2 tests. And West Indies need to start well, and we have a good chance of winning.
All right, wonderful stuff. Craig Cozier, we look out for you down there in Sri Lanka. When we come back, we're going to switch topics, of course, and tell you all about that tremendous relief match, the charity relief for Dominica, which was played at Kensington Oval last week. You're watching Massey United Insurance's Line and Left.
Across the Caribbean, more people are placing their trust in Massey United Insurance for the protection of the things that are important to them, their homes, businesses, and their prized possessions. That's because Massey United Insurance offers excellent general insurance coverage to help you manage whatever life sends your way. Our cadre of well-reputed agencies and trained insurance professionals are always ready to provide you with sound advice and prompt service. Choose the security and sound strength that is Massey United Insurance.
So with some Dominican students who were here for this all-important night, I'm just going to ask a couple of them what they thought about the night. Night of success, in your opinion?
I think it was epic. I enjoyed myself, and it's nice to see that Barbados is doing so much for Dominica, and a lot of the students are here, so we're happy, and we want to say thank you.
You enjoyed the match?
Yes, I did. Very much so.
What was your most enjoyable aspect?
When the Six went out of the stadium.
Was that from Dwayne Bravo? Was that from Kyron Pollard? From who?
Oh, I was so excited, I can't remember.
Now, you're from Dominica. Which part of Dominica are you from?
I'm from Bells.
And was that affected badly by Erica?
Yes, it was, but not. It wasn't one of the worst areas, but it was badly affected, yes.
All right. Some of your other colleagues. Hello. Which part of Dominica are you from?
I'm from town.
You're from Roseau. Which part of Roseau? You can test me.
Exactly in Roseau, but close to Roseau, which is called Goodwill.
Okay, that's near Bath Estate.
You could say that, yes.
Now listen, you came here tonight. Did you enjoy yourself? Was it a success for you?
Very much so. I took my flag and I ran wrong.
Were you in Barbados studying when the when Tropical Storm Erica occurred?
Oh, actually, I was home.
And it impacted you a lot when you saw the damage?
Not a lot, because I live on a hill, so our basement got flooded a bit, but nothing serious.
And your other colleagues, they've been flying the Dominica flag. Tell me about the match. What was your best moment in this game?
I enjoyed everything. I was so excited because I love cricket, so I was running all about, running with my flag and supporting my country and the Barbadians. I thank them so much for coming out to support Dominica. Thank you, Barbadians.
And I've seen this lady working. She's been working up and down. What's your role in this whole thing?
Well, I'm the president of the Dominican Students Association of Kville. So what we've been doing tonight is we've been hosting the telethon. We've been doing various interviews on television and radio. So we've just been trying to get the support of everybody who's not in the stadium and trying to make this event as big and better and as good as it is.
How have the pledges been coming?
The pledges have been good. You know, we can always be better. There's still room for people to continue donating to Dominica, even after the pledges have gone. So we just encourage everyone to continue to donate and to support Dominica in the cause.
Thank you so much. So the Dominican students all saying the night, tremendous success, raising funds and money for the people of Dominica. So I'm with Yohan the Beast Blake. He had a very good night. If anything, he ran very quickly between the wickets. How do you enjoy this match? Great success in your opinion?
Yeah, it was good. You know, I love the crowd. To raise money for Dominica, I think it was a good turnout. You know, I think they should do this more because I really loved it.
In terms of your cricketing ability, we all know Yohan Blake is a top track man, but in terms of your cricketing ability, was it something that you had liked from a youngster?
When they're talking about cricket, they don't talk about like, they talk about love. It's something I love from a youngster. That's what my father grew me up on cricket, so it embedded in me.
Who are some of the people that you grew up loving as a West Indian cricketer?
Well, you have Ian Bradshaw, Brian Lara, you know, Chris Gale. I used to watch a lot of Sir Garfield Sobers, Garnet Greenwich, and all those other guys, you know. So a lot of them, some of my time, Courtney Ambrose, Courtney Walsh, you know. So I love all of my West Indies cricket. You know, I don't miss a match.
What's next for Yohan Blake? You know, you got the Olympics in 2016. How are you preparing for that on the track and field side?
Well, my coach has been working really hard, you know, to get back on the track, and I think next year will be my year. You know, give God thanks. So I'm just going back home and keep working on my farm, and everything's supposed to be in place.
Is your track mate Usain Bolt, is he beatable?
You know, he's a legend. And you will see when time comes, you know, he's going on good. I just want to congratulate him and his warm success in the World Championship as well.
And with the president of the Dominica Association of Barbados, he's a very well-known doctor on the island, Dr. Jeffrey Lafont. Jeffrey, you'll be very happy with how things went this evening.
Oh, it's fabulous, wonderful. Not just this evening, but all what Barbados and Barbadians have been doing for Dominica. It has been tremendous. Barbados Cares, the Dominica Children Fund, the Scotia Bank, the Kiwanis, the Rotarians, the school children of Barbados. Everyone has been doing a tremendous effort for Dominica.
When you heard about the tropical storm Erica hitting your island, how did that impact upon you? How did you feel about it when it happened?
Well, being from Dominica and your home island is going through this incident, it hurts you, it breaks your heart. Especially when you see pictures on social media, the water ravaging, the communities, landslides, people losing their homes, people have to be running from their homes. It's tragic, so it's heartbreaking.
In terms of how things are now, because we've been seeing lots of images over the last couple of weeks, right now, have things improved since that dreadful August 27th?
Yeah, it has improved, settled down a bit, but we know that, thousands of people have been displaced, thousands of people are still out of their homes, people have, lost, we know of loss of lives, so people have lost members of their family, they haven't been seen. So, it's still a dire situation.
Dr. Jeffrey Lafon, president of the Dominica Association of Barbados, but things are looking up, and after tonight's match, hopefully they'll even get better. All right, so what a week it has been. We look forward to see how things shape up for Phil Simmons. The new CEO, Michael Muirhead, has promised that we'll have some kind of release and some kind of resolution within the next 7 days. So we look forward to that this week. Well, continue to send your thoughts. Send us an email, cricket@lineandlength.net. It's on the bottom of the screen. And you can also send us your messages on Twitter. Our handle is @lineandlength. We implore you to keep tuned because things are happening fast and furious. I'm Barry Wilkinson. Until next week, bye-bye for now.